The hate has to end. I, for one, am sick and tired of the Minecraft community constantly hating on the devs and everything they do. I mean, they could literally make the greatest update imaginable, but many players would say something like, I miss the good old days when updates were actually good. Well, for anybody in the community, and especially those type of players, I'm about to break down the biggest arguments against Moja and their development team, and why most of them are non-logical arguments based purely on emotion. A narrative I hear all the time is people trying to invalidate the game developers just because independent modders seem to create changes to the game faster than them. And while true, it's very misleading, and here's why. An independent modder can focus on just one aspect of the game and polish it until it's a very good mod. But the problem with that is usually it's not changing the whole dynamic of the game like an update would, since it's just a one-off mod and it's not elevating the other parts of the game. And you have to remember that developers have a much tougher process writing their ideas and creations through a whole line of business politics. And that's where I think the narrative really falls flat, as most people forget, but Minecraft is a business and has to sell a product that matches the direction which they want the game to continue in. Nostalgia can be an awesome feeling, but it can also lead you to live in the past. I see this all the time, not just in Minecraft, but the gaming community as a whole. This is probably a place you don't want to be in, because living in the past is never healthy and leads you to neglect your own life in the present, but also in terms of Minecraft and gaming as a whole, makes people take out their frustration on the developers instead of dealing with it themselves. For example, the last handful of Minecraft updates have been some of the best ever, and a lot of players agree. But there will always be that handful that will just attack the new updates with weak arguments such as, Microsoft ruined the game, or Minecraft just isn't the same anymore. For anyone watching that feels that way, I want to ask you if, well, actually I'll just have Jacksepticeye explain my point.
I miss the old Anthony or the old Sean.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you don't. You miss how you felt back when you were watching those videos at that time, because you were probably in school. And you probably just came home from school and just watched videos all day and had a great time. But now you're growing up, and now you have responsibilities, and now you're in college, and you have a job, and you're probably stressed out a lot.
As you can see, a lot of the fun you were having playing Minecraft or another game was in part because of where you're at in your life. And I'm not saying that's the case all the time, but even I can admit guilt in that aspect, as I think we've all been there before at one point or another. It's just when it leads to toxic behavior like hating on game developers just because you're not in your childhood anymore is where it becomes an issue. Game developers have a tough job and deserve more praise, but even with that being said, it's not like I believe they shouldn't get any criticism, as there are many instances where they do to some degree, but when you give it to them, it should be constructive and to actually forward the game in some way. It in no way should be a personal attack, but more of a discussion on how to better the game. In terms of Minecraft, there are certainly areas that could be worked on, but many of them have been cured in the last couple of updates. We should expect a lot from our favorite game, but just remember, the developers just do what corporate tells them to, so we should never personally attack them. As I know nostalgia is fun to indulge in, but we should never let it take over our lives in the present.